whose name was Seba or Seba. And those persons ended up becoming known as the Sabians. So the point is, the first thing when Satan made his attack, he came and manifested his work through the hands of men, the Sabians particularly. Number one, that was the first messenger. All right, verse 16. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God, meaning the fire of the Most High, is fallen from heaven, and hath burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So Job was interrupted by a second messenger while receiving bad news from the first messenger. But in one point out, Satan now has departed from the Most High's presence, manifested his first work for men, and came back and manifested and made a second assault on Job's goods by the elements through, quote, what we would call weather. Now, the scriptures say fire from heaven. It literally could have been flames that shut down from heaven. It could be referring to the lightning, because that's what happens. That's what causes a lot of fire. The point is, the Most High gave Satan the authority, and Satan got creative, worked through men the first time, came back a second time, and manifested himself through the weather, through elements. All right? Verse 17. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away. Yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell them. So it's funny, you showed how it was meant for this news to come to Job. But look how it all came overwhelmingly at one time. The first messenger was interrupted by a second messenger. A second messenger was interrupted by a third messenger. And this third messenger is bringing tidings of Satan operating again through a group of men. In other words, the Chaldeans, which we broke down who the Chaldeans are for you. Just recapping, another faction of the Babylonians. All right, and they were specifically known for their wizardry, for their sorcery. All right, so that's what we're dealing with. Verse 18. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons, meaning while the third was yet speaking, a fourth one came and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind, like we would call today maybe a hurricane, tornadoes, from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell you. So you got 2 accounts where Satan comes and deals through men. In other words, the Chaldeans and the Sabians, both families of the people that come from Cush. Number 2, he came and dealt through the elements, or what we would call the weather. A strong wind in the latter instance, and the former we read about the fire from heaven. So in those 4 instances, Satan had taken all of what Job had considered, or what was considered Job's material wealth, his sons and his daughters, and all his possessions. Then Job arose, verse 20, and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground, and worshipped, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged the Most High foolishly. In other words, Job didn't consider what happened to him to have been a curse. He didn't consider what happened to him to have been misfortune. He didn't consider what happened to him in the fashion of why me. So in other words, he proved himself that he was loyal to the Most High. But the point is, showing you how, quote, the spiritual demon Satan operated, quote, from the spiritual realm. Okay? If Satan was cast in the earth, why is he still working moves with the elements? If he was kicked out of heaven, why is he still able to present himself before the Most High and give an account of his actions? And then be sent again into the earth to be able to try a man by the name of Job. Now we're going to read on chapter 2 of Job from verses 1 all the way down to verse 10. So moving on. Again, there was a day when the sons of the Most High, it says the sons of God, we say the Most High, came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came among them to present himself before the Lord. Just like the rest of the sons. Showing that this specific Satan is talking about the spiritual demon Satan, who was created to try and test and the hearts of men and to punish them when the Most High give him credence. All right, verse 2. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence cometh thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Once again, having returned from the earth to the spiritual realm, reporting to the Most High. Verse 3. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou, the Most High addressing Satan, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. So Satan was the one who physically got all of these things done, and the Most High, having given Satan the license to do it, took credit for having done it. I'm going to read that verse again. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me, although thou, you Satan, movest me, the Most High, against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea. All that a man hath will he give for his life. In other words, Satan said, come on, man, you know, every man will lose his possession to save his own life. You know, when it all comes down to it, like we all say, life, health, and strength are the most valuable things. So Satan was saying, well, Lord, you know, you really ain't touched Job yet. Now, verse 5. But put forth thine hand now. Now, this is Satan addressing the Most High again. Put forth thine hand, put forth your hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. Satan was, for the most part, said, you got to hit him in his body, Lord. You got to come at him. He personally has to hurt. He has to feel it, and he'll curse you in your face. Now, and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand. In other words, Job is in your hands. But save his life. So the Most High gave Satan license to afflict Job physically, but not to kill him. That's why he said, but save his life. So Satan can't go. If anything we go through, number one, it's been ordained in the spiritual realm. You understand? And number two, that force, Satan, and all his methods, he can't exceed his bounds. He can't go beyond the measure or the authority that the Most High given him. All right? Now, verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And the boils, you know what a boil is like? You have a pimple. It's like a pimple, big, thick old pimple under the surface of the skin that fills up with pus, rises to the skin, and releases. It's very sore. So it's showing you Satan afflicted Job with that all over his entire body. So imagine the inconvenience. Imagine how uncomfortable it was that he couldn't sit down, walk, etc. Let me read it again. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his feet unto his crown. So the man couldn't walk without being grievously discomforted. He couldn't sit down without being grievously discomforted. He couldn't lay down without being immeasurably, incalculably discomforted. So the Most High let Satan take Job in his physical health. So let me say this. So when people are being afflicted, that means the Most High let him stay down with that. You know, you read about the diabetes. You read about, we know about cancer, the different type of, quote, degenerative illnesses. So the difference between Job and us is we deserve it because we don't know how to, most people who got cancer because they don't eat right. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They're not